So you're welcome to Business A-Level class with Dr. Adebayo. We have the first question. The first question says, explain one disadvantage for a business of operating in a saturated market. When we talk about a saturated market, we're simply talking about a market that is witnessing low or declining sales. That's a saturated market. And one of the disadvantages of a saturated market is that it brings about intense innovation pressure. If the market is saturated, businesses in that market are faced with more pressure to find a way to differentiate their products, to start to think about how their product will be different from those of their competitors. That's why I said intense innovation pressure. Businesses will be faced with constant pressure to upgrade their product or improve their service. This drives up operational costs and creates a high risk if the new offering fails to meet the targeted audience expectation. So the market is saturated. You have to start finding a way to keep your customers by impressing them, by making sure that you are developing new products or improving your service. But if these fail to meet their expectation, your cost is increasing. And according to Extract A, the global market for on-demand streaming platform has shown signs of saturation for some time, forcing businesses to derive new strategies to stop the loss of subscribers. So you have to come up with a new strategy that is innovative. You have to be innovative. You have to come up with new ideas so you can keep your customers. The market is going into decline, which means businesses are losing customers. And if you don't want to be part of those losing customers, or if you want to stop losing customers, you have to find a way to come up with innovation so that your product become more attractive to your customers. And they will always find a reason to always subscribe from you instead of those of your competitors. Does it make sense there? Does it make sense? Go to question 1B. 1B, they said, using Extract A, calculate to 2 decimal places the percentage decrease in Netflix subscribers in 2022. So we have to look at the extracts together. I'm flipping the camera already. So we have the extract, percentage increase in 2022. We have the extract. So this is Extract A. So they said, we're just going to go straight to where we need the percentage decrease. So it's around here. At the start of 2022, Netflix, the market leader, had 221.6 million subscribers. That's the original revenue. However, by September 2021, it had lost 1.2 million subscribers. So which simply means they said we should calculate for what? The decrease in Netflix numbers of subscribers. So decrease will be decrease in customer. Decrease in customer is 1.2 million customers. It was 1.2 million customers were lost in the cost. So we have 1.2 million divided by the total number of subscribers Netflix has, which is 221.6 million, multiplied by 100 because we are looking for the percentage decrease. So this gives us 120 million divided by 221.6 million. So we can calculate that now. So we have 120 divided by 221. So that's 0.54%. So that's 0.54 percentage. So that's how to calculate percentage decrease. Thank you. So we'll move on again. So we'll move on to question 1C, right? Question 1C. For question 1C, they said, discuss the benefits of a merger for a business such as HBO in a saturated market. We already know what a saturated market is. So what is a merger? Merger is the joining of 2 or more firms to become one. That is merger. So what are the benefits of merger? The first one I said, in a saturated market, competition is expected to be what? High, which means innovation and promotion are needed to maintain existing customers. I said that already in the first place. Right? The market is saturated. There's intense pressure to be innovative as a business. Yes or no? So the benefit of merger is that it allows you to be able to keep your customers because you become stronger. So here I said, in a saturated market, competition is expected to be high, which means innovation and promotion are needed to maintain existing customers. So you don't want to lose your existing customers. So for you not to lose them, you have to promote your business, you have to innovate more. Yes or no? Now, merger is expansion. Yes or no? Expansion is difficult as the market is already saturated. So to gain customer, it could be by taking away customers from rivals. The market is saturated. Yes or no? There's no customer in heaven. All the customers are here. Yes or no? Yes or no? I'm asking you a question. Okay, great. Please, when I ask a question, you give a response. The market is already saturated, which means sales are expected to go down. So you cannot gain any customer outside that market. The only customer you can gain is within the market. And what does that simply mean? It simply means you can only gain customers from your competitors. In a saturated market, the market is in decline. There's no potential customer anymore. You only have existing customers for that market. So to gain a customer, if business A wants to gain a customer from a market that is saturated, it can only gain a customer from business B that is already in the market. So to get a customer, you need to get a customer from your competitors. There's no customer outside the market. Do you get the point I'm making? Yeah. Expansion is difficult as the market is already saturated. So to gain customer, it could be by taking away customers from your rivals. The market is saturated, it's closed. But we only have 1,000 customers in this market. And it's expected to fall. There's no potential customers that will increase it. So for the 1,000 market, the market share is between all the businesses in that market. So if you have 300 customers in that market, business B has 200 customers. To gain 100 more customers, you have to take all customers from business B, C, D, and E. That is the point I'm making here. So to make this happen, merger. You want to gain customers from your competitors. Merger would allow you to do that because when there's merger, your competitors reduces. And that means more customers to your own business. So merger reduces competition, which means HBO may be able to gain customers of Discovery Plus. Now, Discovery Plus has its own subscribers. With the merger, Discovery Plus customers becomes HBO's customers. Is it making sense now? The merger may bring about economies of scale. The merger may bring about what? Economies of scale. Not access economies of scale. The merger may bring about economies of scale. Point blank. However, the merger may bring about corporate culture clash. Yes or no?
Yeah.
The merger may bring about these economies of scale. The merger might take time, and whatever takes time takes money. There's possibility that the merger even brings about demerger. Look at how I'm making my point, please.
Yeah.
So we go to question 1E, right? Is it 1D? Sorry. Assess the advantage of outsourcing for a business wanting to improve cost competitiveness. We talk about cost competitiveness. It simply means you are trying to reduce your cost to become a cost leader. Outsourcing is a step to get services done by a party outside the company. Outsourcing is what? A step to get a service done by a company outside your business. It simply means outsourcing is a way of giving a third party what you previously do to get it done. It's still outsourcing. Sure. Outsourcing is likely to bring about efficiency, lowering the cost of the business. What did I tell you? Not price, not cheap. Outsourcing is likely to bring about what? Efficiency, which would lead to what? Lower cost for a business. Lower cost may be passed on as lower prices. Look at what I'm saying here. Lower cost may be passed on as lower prices, which may in turn increase the competitive advantage of a business, leading to higher sales and profitability. Skilled workers can be found that may not be available at home. This is the case with Australia in Extract B. Outsourcing means we have to look out the skill shortage, right?
Yeah.
And I told you yesterday, skill shortage is about the employers. You see now? So you might outsource outside of Australia because outside of Australia or in Australia, they have what you needed. That is the point I'm making here. Does it make sense or not? By outsourcing some support functions, the business can concentrate on its core competencies. So when you outsource, it allows you to focus on your strengths because most of the time you are outsourcing your weakness. So if you outsource your weakness, it means you don't have any weakness anymore. Then you focus on your strengths. That's why I said by outsourcing some support functions, the business can concentrate on its core competencies. Does it make sense? However, there may be communication problems arising as a result of language or cultural differences. Yes or no? This is just a common sense thing. Oh, a foreign business coming to Libya, there will be communication problem. There will be culture clash. It's a common sense thing. A business may risk losing its own identity. You talked about it more. And corporate culture, if it relies too much on others, over relying too much. Too much is over. So you might lose your identity because you so much rely on outsourcing. Does it make sense? Any question about that? Go to question 1E. Assess the importance of the likely return on investment for a business when choosing a production location. Return on investment implies what? The financial benefit from investing, which is profit. That is return on investment. The financial benefit of investing. And in this case, we're talking about setting up a production location in another country. What is the return on investment? It may be important if the objective of a business is to satisfy investors or shareholders. Why do you think return on investment is important? It may be important for a business that makes its objective satisfying shareholders. So if the objective is to make sure that shareholders are happy or investors are happy, it simply means you have to focus on return on investment. Does it make sense? According to Extract C, the return on investment for FDI companies increased from RM 0.06 to RM 0.13 for every RM1 of investment. It was stated in the extract. Yes or no?
Yeah.
This may be the reason why FDI in Malaysia increased to 48.1 billion RM in 2021. However, other factors may be important to some businesses. There you talk about raw materials, labor, political stability, and the rest. However, other factors may be important to some business. Just like this, you get a mark. You get a mark for that. Because you're letting us understand that there are other factors. Even without mentioning them, you get a mark for that. Businesses in the extractive industries will locate where there are natural resources. So businesses will think about supply of labor, cheap labor. Some businesses will think about political stability. Some businesses will think about exchange rates. All this you can talk about. Clear? Go to question 2. It's 1 hour already, but it's okay. We have to finish it. So for question 2, they said, evaluate the importance of business ethics for a global business. Ethics. Ethics about doing what is right, knowing what is right and wrong. Business ethics refer to the principles and acceptable behavior that governs the ways in which a business operates. The principles that governs how we operate is business ethics. Yes or no? Business ethics vary from country to country, depending on the legal framework and cultural norms of society. The business ethics in Libya will be different from the business ethics in Nigeria, will be different from the business ethics in Spain. Say this alone, you get mark. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Are you following me?
I'm following you.
According to Extract D, a study by Simon Coker and partners found that 90% of global consumers now look for more sustainable and ethical options. Yes or no? This may mean that businesses that actively use CSR policies in their operations are likely to attract more customers, leading to higher revenue and profit. So because customers, according to the study, 90% of customers now are looking for businesses that are sustainable to buy from. And that simply means businesses that are actively using CSR policies will attract more customers, increasing revenue and profits. According to Extra D, Zara and H&M are seen as businesses that are becoming more sustainable. It's a point too. Yes or no? It is important for businesses to adopt ethical practices as it improves the brand image of a business and may lead to customer loyalty. It will improve your reputation. However, ethical practices such as fair pay, conducive working environment, use of renewable resources are quite expensive, which may in turn increase costs in the short term. Look at how I wrote it now. Do you get it now? Do you get it now or not? Is it the same as what you wrote? It's not the same, so don't just waste time. You can check it later on, okay? Most customers are attracted to products due to lower prices, not ethical behavior. I'm talking about however here. Most customers might be attracted to low price. Based on the law of demand, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. The lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. So customers are conscious about price. So customers might not think about ethical practices when they want to buy. If competitors remain unethical to lower their prices, a business that pursues ethics may be less internationally competitive. If you think about ethical practices, and it's a global market, you think about ethical practices, and your competitors are not thinking about ethical practices so that they can sell at a reduced price. They're going to have competitive advantage over you. Yes or no? Do you get it?
Yeah.
The importance of ethical behavior for a global business may depend on the market that it operates in and the attitude of its potential customers. Two things are important when it comes to ethical practices: the market you are in and the attitude of customers. Because whatever happens in that market directly affects you. And what are customers' perception about what you sell? Do they care about sustainability or they care about the price? So the attitude also determines. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Any question about question 2? So that's about question 2. We have question 3 and we round it up. So for question 3, they said, evaluate the usefulness of Porter's matrix to a business considering entering into the Vietnamese cosmetic market. For Porter's matrix, it's used to identify the sources of a competitive advantage of a business. How you can achieve competitive advantage. That is what Porter's matrix is about. And according to Porter, a business that lacks any of these 3 generic strategies is likely not to succeed. I'm making points. I'm making points. And this point allows you to make more. Yes, I'm making points. And you are getting me, and I wouldn't want you to repeat the same mistake from the past. And that is why I'm making emphasis. Learn how to generate points. Porter's matrix is used to identify the source of a competitive advantage that a business might achieve in a market. Porter identified the 3 generic strategies that could be followed and said that without one of these, a business is likely not to succeed. Still talking about Porter, I've not even gone to the extract or the evaluation. The 3 generic strategies are as follows: cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. Are you with me, please? Okay, that's about that. The Vietnamese cosmetic market is changing and growing rapidly by expected 15% to 20% annually. So the market is growing. And if the market is growing, it simply means the demand for the product will be price elastic. Yes or no? So the market is becoming competitive. And because the market is becoming competitive, it might be difficult for a firm to increase price because the PED is elastic. So you have to think about cost, being a cost leader. Cost leadership. So do you see how I put it in now? The Vietnamese cosmetic market is changing and growing rapidly by an expected 15% to 20% increase annually. The market is highly price sensitive, according to the extract. E. Therefore, a cost leadership approach may be a good strategy to follow. Through cost concentration, which may be achieved by economies of scale. Look at what I wrote. Through cost concentration, which may be achieved by economies of scale, sourcing for cheaper factor input, a potential business may be able to sell at a lower price and gain competitive advantage. I did not say it's only economies of scale that will allow you to reduce your cost. I said it could allow you, but that's not the only one. There's also you sourcing for cheaper inputs. Is cheaper input economies of scale?
That's different thing.
It's a different thing. But that can also reduce the cost of production for firm that will be passed on as lower price to customers, which a new firm, a new business trying to come into the market will be able to explore by selling at a lower price to attract more customers. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
That's about cost leadership. Porter talked about differentiation strategy. Differentiation strategy can also be crucial, as it means that the business may be able to make its product stand out from those of its competitors. So it's not about cost leadership alone. A new business might think about standing out. Standing out simply means you have created a unique selling point, a USP for your product. So your product now, in the eyes of customers, your product is not the same as your competitors. So if customers are not seeing your product as the same as your competitors, that might allow them to feel that your product is of great quality, making them to pay so much on your product, charging a premium price. Product differentiation allows you to charge a premium price. That's the point I'm making there. Do you get that? That's about premium price. Focus now. Focus strategy